La, what it do? Let me get the phone number pinned, man. Let's see. Damn, Chad. All right, Chad. There we go. There we go. I think I got the phone lines open, man. What it do, La? What y'all doing, man? Double tap the screen, share the live out, man. Double tap the screen, share the live out. What's up, Lori? What's up, La? We gonna wait for some people to call in, man. MAGA's a court, Democrats are bad. The Republicans sold us out. We finna get some call-ins, hopefully. Hopefully we get some call-ins, man. We gonna see what's going on, though. I done went live like 5 times today, so we gonna see what's going on, man. We gonna see. I probably should have jumped in the Discord as well. Another night. Me and Corey World was just on Bigo, La. Corey World was on the panel with me on Bigo talking about relationships. Dang, man, we shadow banned for real, Chad. We got 3 people in here, 3 likes exactly, man. Corey World, Lori, and Lala, man. We got Corey World, Lori, and Lala in here, man. 3 people, 3 likes, man. It's crazy. I guess I could cut this light off, this big light. All right. Corey World, did you like that panel, man? You like that panel we just had, Corey World? Man, it's crazy. It's slow motion here. There goes some people coming in, man. Y'all call in, man. Double tap the screen, share the live out. We are debating tonight. MAGA's a court, Dems are bad. The GOP has sold us out. If you disagree with any of those 3 things, call in now, man. MAGA is a court, Dems are bad, and the Republicans sold us out to the technocrats, man. You said it was all right, it's fun to debate women. You had a fun time. What's up, La? Yeah, man, let's see. We're gonna get a call in tonight, man. Y'all gonna call in? I guess I could do the intro mode. Let me see if I can find intro mode, man. Where is that? Let's see. Let's do an intro mode while we wait on somebody to call in. Damn. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills. Y'all hit the like button. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we get it. Big old booty, she
They don't wanna
she like to argue, she don't like to
they don't wanna call in tonight, Cool World.
Pretty instant, did it, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always first tip 'em. Parking lot pimpin' when we in the city. Don't ask about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission.
Hey man, nobody's gonna call in. Nah, Steve might call.
She love when I finish. Have emotion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. See some thousands now, I'm after some millions, so all my houses come with chandeliers.
What's up, Too Strong?
Talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. My team, if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket.
Damn, they just cut me off live.
Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
Damn, they just cut me off live, the whole live. It just closed the app. Damn. All right, chat, man. Yeah, it just closed the whole app on me. We're gonna take some call-ins, man. We're gonna take some call-ins, man. That shit's crazy. They just closed the whole app on me. Sitting here jamming out, the app just closed. But yeah, we're gonna take some call-ins, man. I don't know if anybody's gonna call in or what, man, but we taking some call-ins. I'm saying MAGAs are cool, Dems are bad. The GOP has sold us out to the technocrats. We're fucked. Those are my stances tonight, and we're taking any call-ins that want to go against that. Doesn't look like anybody just wants to jump in that water right now, but it's all right. We'll guess I'll go see something, man. I guess I'll pull up some clips or something while we wait. Shit is crazy, man. Where is it at? You said I hate Yeshua Jesus too. Why do you think I hate Jesus? I don't hate Jesus.
Benjamin Netanyahu told us in a tweet last week this fulfills a dream of 40 years. This is a joint Israel-U.S. madness creating havoc for the world.
With all due respect to this so-called professor, Iran is the aggressor. Iran is the one.
You said you was on the long form.
I'm struggling right now over this definition of evil. What about the decades in which Palestinians lived under a brutal regime of structural apartheid?
It's simply revisionist history. Over the last 2.5 years, Israelis have been living in shelters, attacked over our peaceful border, and it all leads back to Iran.
This has nothing to do with America. This is Israel's problem. Yeah, you wiped that smile off your face real quick there, Mr. Israeli spokesman.
The new Ayatollah shares not only a name and a bloodline.
The notification sent you to the long form.
America and Israel are sworn enemies. Dissent and protest must be crushed. Weakness and chaos in the region makes its neighbors easier to control. It's therefore no surprise, under current circumstances, that Israel says
Tony, we waiting on some call-ins.
And the one after that. None of this brings us anywhere closer to any of the stated justifications for going to war. In fact, it's the opposite. And many people are still struggling to answer the two prerequisite questions. Why is the US at war? And why does it have to be now? Well, last week, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and many others said it had to be now because Israel was going to do it anyway. The so-called imminent threat was actually the threat of a retaliation to Israeli aggression. And surprisingly, they hurriedly walked that back.
To accept,
narrative
press 1.
that Israeli...
To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on, Eric? Where you calling from?
Tennessee.
All right, what's going on, Eric from Tennessee?
Well, I just got to say that I don't... Oh, hold on a second. I got to take a shit. Hold on.
What? I just want to say that I got to take a shit. Hold on. I mean, okay. You said hit the bell icon. Yeah, man, he was tripping, man. I don't know, man. We'll get a few of those. Hopefully people call in, man. But This is crazy, Chad.
Tail wag the American dog is not going away. The Wall Street Journal reports that Senator Lindsey Graham flew several times to Israel in order to coach Netanyahu on how to persuade President Trump to join the war. And Antony Blinken, the former Secretary of State, said they've seen this playbook before.
This has been a long story when it comes to Iran. And back during the Obama administration, the Israelis were pushing President Obama to take military action against Iran, and were warning that they would do it themselves if he didn't. And he wouldn't, because he thought the better way to get at the nuclear program, which is what we were focused on,
Hit the like button,
was through very muscular diplomacy backed up by very, very strong sanctions that we rallied the world to put in place. And then we got the Iran nuclear agreement.
An esteemed panel is standing. We're joined now by my panel, Doran Spielman. He's the former IDF international spokesman and author of When Stones Speak. Daniel Levy, the former Israeli negotiator.
What's up, Innocent?
U.S. Middle East Peace Project. And Scott Horton, author of Provoked. Welcome to all of you. Scott Horton, let me start with you. Clearly very different views of what is happening here from Jeffrey Sachs and Danny Danon. They had a very heated exchange in the UN, which says it all. I imagine that your agreement probably lies a lot more with Jeffrey Sachs than Danny Danon. But again, I'll put the same question to you about the possibility that this could eventually work.
I'm in the Discord too, Chad. If y'all don't want to call in, you can join the Discord.
That Iran has been the tentacle, the octopus with tentacles, for all the terrorism in the region that's been aimed at them through the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and so on. That it's run by an evil, repressive regime, which has been that way for 47 years, repressing its own people, repressing everything else in the region that can repress, and that they've had this coming.
Hit the like button, Chad.
Decapitating the regime,
call in.
You may then lead to an uprising from the Iranian people, many of whom hate the regime, and that in 5-10 years we may look back in history, this is what I hear from many Israelis, and be grateful for what has happened. What would you say to that?
Well, I mean, it's built into the question, of course, that this is all Israel's interests at play here. The great revolutionary Shiite menace is their problem, not ours. Our problem is the bin Ladenites, Al-Qaeda and ISIS, the radical Salafi edge of Wahhabi Sunni Islam and their terrorist movement, mostly America and Britain and Saudi Arabia's pet terrorists, although they oftentimes turn on us and kill us too.
Hit the like button.
The Shiites are the Israelis' problem, and even though every time America runs an errand over there to try to spite them, we end up empowering them like we did in Iraq War II. And then inadvertently, when Obama built the caliphate to spite them, we ended up, that blew up too big, so they had to take...
It's a guy named Scott Horton. He's on Piers Morgan panel. Piers Morgan has an IDF spokesperson, somebody named Scott Horton, and then another guy, man. This is Piers Morgan, they debate.
The Iranians.
I'm waiting on some call-ins.
Which is, you know, that we have strikes going on against.
Thank you to the moon.
In Iraq right now.
Everybody be sure to hit the like button. Let's hit the algorithm.
David Petraeus a minute ago about tell us how this ends. Well, Iraq War II ended with David Petraeus putting Iran's best friends in power there and training up their army, the Badr Brigade, to be the Iraqi army. And that's who we got a problem with as the war spreads right now. But then secondly, as far as will the war work? No. And as far as, well, it depends on who you ask what their goals are. The Trump administration says they want stability, and they even told the Wall Street Journal, anonymous officials told the Wall Street Journal, they might be happy with the Ayatollah Khomeini's grandson. They don't like Khamenei's son. They want Khomeini's grandson instead. They have no capability, as Marco Rubio testified to the Senate, they have no one to put in power. They don't think for a minute they can parachute the monarchists in there. They don't think for a minute that the Mujahideen cult, communist terrorist cult, can take over. They don't think that the Kurdish communists, the PJAK, which are the Iranian Kurdish branch of the PKK in Turkey, they don't think that they can take over. They don't think that the Baluchi suicide bombers, Jandala, that America and Israel backed 10, 15 years ago, can take over the country. But as the Israelis told the Financial Times, that's fine. What they want to see is civil war. What they want to see is chaos and destruction and Iran taken off the board. They don't want to see a friend.
I read y'all that speech that rabbi said earlier. I read y'all a lot of that speech, man. He said that shit in 1952. And here we are in World War III.
Knew Iran, as Donald Trump said, they want chaos. They want Iran to look like Obama helped Israel turn Syria into back 15 and 10 years ago.
All right, Doran Spillman, there are many people who think that is exactly what Israel wants. They just want total chaos, a sort of rudderless Iran. That's why they're blowing up all the oil refineries. That's why their general view seems to be to cause as much mayhem as possible. What do you say to that?
Pierce, it's simply a revisionist history. Listening to Jeffrey Sachs and, Scott is just...
You said when the World War III started? World War III started last Friday. Tony, we 10 days into World War III. I don't know what the hell, where you been at, man?
It's ridiculous.
Oh, you talking about 2017? Nah, hell nah, man. This shit started the other day.
The reality that over the last 2.5 years and before, Israelis have been living in shelters, running in and out of shelters, attacked over our peaceful border with Gaza, received thousands of missiles from Hezbollah, thousands of missiles from the Houthis.
What up, Carlos?
Targeted in Israel and overseas, and it all leads back to Iran. It's as if Israel woke up one morning and said, we've got a great idea. Let's fly 2,000 kilometers and try to attack a country that has 95 million people, and we have 10 million people, that is 90 times bigger than Israel, put our soldiers at risk, just out of the blue, because Israel wants to take over the world.
90?
I mean, there's not a shred,
it's math
shred of truth about this scenario. Let's wake up, everybody. At what point does a country have the right to defend its civilians against an enemy country that not only has said it wants to destroy you, but has launched 500 ballistic missiles in June, another series of ballistic missiles, including one that flew over my house and killed a worker in the middle of Tel Aviv today who will not go home to his family? At what point do we have the most basic right to defend our country? Should we just sit here and wait for them to keep firing and lay down and roll over? There is such absolute hypocrisy. I'm listening to Jeffrey Sachs, so you let him speak for half an hour, and it was, so emotional, Israel's committing suicide. Well, let me ask Jeffrey Sachs and you, how do you suppose that Israel should respond to the Iranian terror threats from 4 different countries that have been attacking Israel? Should we not fight back? Should we just lay down? Is that not suicide? At the end of the day, Pierce, we are leading.
Thank you for proving my point. That's exactly what I said. This is Israel's problem, not America's.
As opposed
Israel's not an ally of the United States.
Scott, just one second. At the end of the day, this will go down in history the exact opposite of what Jeffrey Sachs said. You have Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump. Mark my words, they will go down in history like Churchill and Roosevelt, who were the first ones to confront the evil that spread throughout Germany and save the West. We are the very first ones, because there's an imminent threat against us, that are going to stop this threat before it hits American soil. It already hit it already hit Israeli soil. They will go down in history.
What's up,
everybody else that decries this war will be
y'all hit the like button.
Minor footnote of those who said we should give in to the regime. We can't defeat the regime. If this was 1945, they would just say, no, let's not finish off with Germany. Let's just let them reconstitute with Hitler's son, which is what Mujata is. He is Khomeini's son.
For heaven's sake.
Okay, let me bring in.
Real quick.
Hang on.
Just give me 1 second.
Hang on, Scott.
Okay.
Well, very quickly, because Daniel's been waiting patiently.
Yeah. Just very quickly, I said this has nothing to do with America. This is Israel's problem, and he said this is Israel's problem for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what I said. Israel's not a state in the Union. We have no treaty of alliance with Israel.
I'd like to respond. I think that the United States wants a secure Middle East. I don't think anybody wants a destabilized Middle East. When Israel, which is the United States' greatest ally, is under mortal threat, as we now see Saudi Arabia, Scott, who is the United States' supposed ally, is now also under threat. You've got the UAE, who is under threat. All of them are under threat by Iran.
Because you started a war.
That's
an IDEO spokesperson and
beyond just protecting U.S. troops, thousands of which have died over Iran over the last few decades, to
and
say,
Scott Horton.
I'm going to support the friends of the United States and to do the very simple act, which seems like none of you can accept, of defeating evil. Good standing up against evil. It can be defeated, and it must be defeated.
The point I would make to that, Doran, is that you're very optimistic that the regime is going to be defeated. And I think that the problem at the moment is there is no immediate sign of that happening. In fact, the opposite seems to be the case. Let me bring in Daniel
9 days. This is not a fairy tale.
Okay.
We actually have to fight
told
to
it would
defeat
be
the enemy.
Yeah, but we were told a year ago, actually not even a year ago, that the attack on the nuclear installations was incredibly successful and had neutralized the threat of Iran and its nuclear capability. And yet here we are, less than a year later, launching a massive war in Iran because apparently they were...
Tony, go ahead, man. That's a good idea. You might make some money right there. You might make some chicken. Let me sponsor one of them hoes. Send me one of them plug sack stamp ones. We need the one of them ones for me to promote too. Know what I mean?
You know, imminently about to acquire the ability for a nuclear weapon. And those two positions seem to be completely incompatible. It's like either it was neutralized last year.
Shall I force my way in?
Okay,
or...
but it's stretching.
Shall I force my way in, or...
Yeah, Daniel, let me bring in Daniel. Daniel, you've been very patient. Thank you. Over to you.
First, I'm struggling right now over this definition of evil. I saw a country lay waste to Gaza. I've seen a country that occupied Palestinians. October 7th was a crime. But what about the decades?
World War III been started. It started 10 days ago.
A brutal occupation, a regime of structural apartheid, and then I look.
Chad, hit the like button.
Subsequently, and I'm shaking because when I hear these glib comparisons to the Holocaust and to the Nazi regime, I feel it's a form of cheapening, almost of Holocaust revisionism. You know, I'm quite confident that the Jewish population in Germany was not keeping the Germans under a brutal occupation for decades. What a horrible analogy to draw, to call this some kind of Holocaust. Now, first of all, if one's talking about evil, what we have witnessed in Gaza should be painful and shameful to anyone who has grown up in a tradition which respects and values Jewish life and which considers never again to not be a parochial call, but a universal global call. Now let's come on to the subject at hand, which is what is going on with Iran. Iran didn't attack Israel. Iran hasn't attacked Israel. I wish I could say that Israel hadn't attacked Iran, but as in your expressions of astonishment are wonderful, but they belie a revisionist view of history. The attack in June was initiated by Israel. The attack earlier this year, was initiated by Israel. And my question is twofold. First of all, is this extreme ambition, extremism, this maximalism, likely to play out well for Israel? And what do we think is going to happen as this plays out, as Mr. Horton just suggested, with the US? Because I would argue,
you said you got some silver and 2 ounces of gold, thinking of selling now? I don't know why.
that you have an Iran that has a strategy, and you have an Israel that has a strategy. It seems very clear, very transparent, that the Israeli strategy is not some fairy tale of a happy new regime coming into place. It is precisely
hit the like button, chat.
Regime collapse, state implosion, dismantlement, and chaos. Why? Because Israel has been very clear that it has an agenda of regional domination here. Why does it need an agenda of regional domination? Because that's not about security. We can come back and talk about that. But that is...
You said what I hold if you were me. I would take profits, you know. I mean, I would, depending on my situation. Like right now, you know, with the way inflation and shit's going, if you are up on it and you're up a ton, I mean, I would take some profits, but I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't just liquidate everything. Like, yeah, I probably would take some profits though, for sure.
Central to the notion of a zero-sum endgame versus the Palestinians. I think the Iranians have come into this with strategic coherence. This time around, they've changed their national security posture and said, if this is going to be done against us, if this kind of a war is going to be launched against us, we will make it costly. We will establish a deterrence, and we will challenge the notion that America can stay cost-free in the West Asia region. The worry I have, amongst others, is that the party Israel is relying on, I don't think, has a strategy whatsoever. America used to go to wars that were often problematic for the world, for those who suffered, for America itself, with some degree of competence and coherence, some degree of a multi-layered interagency process. Today, I think you have rank incompetence and incoherence. And on any given day, the question is, what is this about? You can make a geopolitical case. You could say this is
Daniel,
about...
let me ask you this.
Thank you,
If I
Leland.
can finish just this one thing.
Hit the like button for me, Chad. Thank you, Leland.
You could say this is about a chokehold, like they see Greenland in geopolitical, geoeconomic terms, about oil. But you can also hear them talking about capitulation. You can hear them suggesting this could be a Venezuela 2.0. You can perhaps hear people saying...
Who's the they? I'm sorry, who's the they, Daniel?
The spokespeople of the administration that is carrying out
which administration?
War, Mr. Spillman. So I would suggest that this could end in a couple of days, or it could go on indefinitely. But what you have here is Iran has not tried to say we will escalate toe-to-toe with Israel and the US. They have said we will go vertical. We will expand the theater of war and make this a question not of military capacity, where the balance of power is clear, but of political endurance. And if you go into war, not like Afghanistan...
It could go on indefinitely. I don't know, man. I think Trump lets the big one go. This goes nuclear, man. I think this goes nuclear.
Afghanistan, if you're America, with 90% public support, not like Iran, Iraq, with 70% public support, but with barely 30% public support, bipartisan, criticism inside MAGA, your economy taking the stress, then the question of political endurance, which I think will decide this, I don't think looks good from an American, and by extension...
Okay, I mean, let me jump in. I mean, I would say the political stroke economic part of this cannot be understated, because the economy is getting shredded globally. Oil and gas prices are absolutely rocketing. No one can get through the Strait of Hormuz pretty much without Iran say so. So this is a very perilous moment for the global economy, I would say. Notwithstanding the military part of this, where the strategy of Iran has been just to scattergun attack its neighboring Gulf states, because they know that by...
I don't think so, Carlos. You said if this goes nuclear, it would be the end of the world. I don't think so. I don't think anybody responds. I think Israel probably nukes Iran and nobody does anything about it. Honestly. I think Israel nukes Iran and nobody does anything about it. Honestly. Thank you, Najee. I don't think anybody does anything about it.
Effectively doing that, in the way that they've been doing by targeting hotels and airports and so on, they are acting as a massive deterrent to people who are not naturally born in those states.
I mean, what are they going to do? Bring Netanyahu up on war crimes? Another ICC warrant? The damn Geneva? What are they going to do? If Netanyahu really drops nukes on Iran, what the fuck are they going to do about it? Honestly. Is Russia going to step up and drop some nukes? Maybe. Maybe they drop nukes on Ukraine. Maybe. Guess what? If they drop nukes on Ukraine, I don't think America does anything about it. It'll be on Macron and France to see what the fuck is going to go on. Honestly. Honestly. I don't think Russia nukes Israel. I think Russia may nuke Ukraine. Maybe. I don't think they do anything about it, man. They calling this shit Armageddon for a reason, Chad. These folks are trying to bring on the end of the world, man. Somebody's about to push that fucking button, man.
To want to go back to wherever they came from. You see lots of Brits go back to Britain, for example, because they suddenly think that this safe oasis is not as safe as they thought. But let me just ask you one question, Daniel, before I go to the...
What does Russia standing with Iran look like? Sending them some money, some weapons. What does Russia? Because Russia standing with Iran doesn't look like them nuking Israel, man. Russia has more pressure. If Russia's gonna nuke any motherfucking thing, it's gonna be Ukraine. So maybe that's how Russia, in my opinion, maybe that's how Russia responds. They just gonna get that shit over with in Ukraine. And now we're going to see what Macron's talking about, because he's saying that they're building up their nuclear arsenal and they're not going to report how many they have to anybody. What did Trump say? He said, look, man, that shit's in Europe's backyard, man. That's their problem. They need to deal with this. He already wrote Zelensky ass the fuck off.
The others for their response to what he said. And it says, when you said that Iran has not attacked Israel, and the two examples you cite were indeed retaliatory.
Oh, intelligence help? Probably.
That ignores the reality, which is that
What's up,
for
Luke?
decades, the Iranian regime, which has publicly talked about being wedded to the annihilation of Israel, and here the chance of death to America at the same time, and has killed lots of Americans and Israelis. But the part you're missing, which I'm really curious about your response to, is that surely you would accept that by propping up and supporting with arms and lots of cash, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, they have been attacking Israel relentlessly for decades, but doing it through their proxies. And that is, to me, that is the same thing. Whether they're doing it directly or whether they're doing it...
That's what I'm saying, Carlos, but we're talking about escalation here. You say Israel attacks Iran, Iran attacks America. With what? That's the thing. They don't have the nukes yet. Once Israel takes this thing nuclear, it's fucking nuclear, bro. Iran doesn't have the nukes to respond. If Russia's going to respond nuclear, they're more than likely going to hit Ukraine with some shit. I don't think America does anything about either. I think Zelensky ass is out to fucking dry when it comes to America. I think Iran ass is out to fucking dry when it comes to Israel. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, you know.
Through proxies, they have been attacking Israel. Now, you might have concerns about the way Israel has responded, and I would share some, many of those concerns. I've expressed them, but no one can persuade me that Israel isn't fundamentally justified in trying to defend itself.
Oh God, here go one of them hotep niggas. Black man, do you really believe in that flag behind you? Yes, call in, nigga. Damn, it's always the hotep niggas, man.
From the tentacled attacks by the Iranian regime through its proxies for many, many years.
So I'm not going to carry the brief for the Iranian governing structure and what it has set out to do. What troubles me is...
Call in, man. You sitting here, nah, Lala, don't delete his message. Call in. I got a phone number right there. You can call in and state your claim as to why I shouldn't believe in the flag behind me. But other than that, shut the fuck up or just run the comments up, man. It's always you hotep niggas, man. It's always the hotep niggas, bro. Niggas sitting right here in America talking about going to fucking Churchy's Chicken and Popeyes every other day, man. Walking in Walmart and fucking thong flip-flops, fishing on the good lakes and rivers and ponds of America, but want to be a fucking hotep, nigga, man. Go back to Africa then, man. I'm tired of that shit.
What does that mean? I'm sorry. Daniel, what's your answer to Pierce? What does that mean? Just answer the simple question. Do you consider the fact that Iran has funded and trained Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis to kill Israelis and offense?
So
are they actually attacking Israel, or are they some parallel vertical regime? What's your answer?
Here's my response. I would consider it highly problematic if the response to Israel's genocide against the Palestinians, if the response to Israel being led by a war criminal with an international criminal court arrest warrant against his name, if the response to that would be an attempt to wipe the Israeli Jewish community off the map. Israel is a nuclear. Israel is a nuclear.
Daniel,
Israel is
sidestepping.
a nuclear.
Daniel, is there any point at which you think Israel
No,
is
I'm sure
justified
I'm
in carrying
sure
out
you'd be a
military
fabulous
intervention
stand-in
at
for
all?
Piers Morgan,
Wait, give me
but
one
I believe
instance.
that Piers
Is there
asked me a
any
question,
moment?
Mrs.
Is
Spielman.
there anyone?
You see,
any
when you
terror
can't,
regime
if you
Israel
can't
justified
listen
at
to a
carrying out
response to
military
your
intervention,
argument,
Daniel?
are we just going to shout over each?
See how when you put that logic on them Hotep niggas, they don't never call in and then they just leave, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like most of these Hotep niggas, they ain't even been to Africa, bro. Like, they ain't been over there, bro. Like, they've never seen Africa, man. These niggas might not have left their state, man. They go outside, they do a little grounding, man, put their toes in the sand and feel like they can come in my YouTube comments and tell me what the fuck I need to do, man. I'm tired of these niggas, bro. Like, golly, man. Damn.
Each other?
No, I'm
Okay,
trying to ask
can I
you
now
a question because I don't
Can
understand
you
your answer.
shut up and I'll answer Pierce's
Whoa,
question?
Daniel, take it easy. Take it easy now. We don't have to get over
Well, I think this is.
Okay, Daniel, let Daniel answer the question. Let Daniel answer the question.
So I think the fact that Israel has maintained control of the sovereign skies of Lebanon, violated Lebanese sovereignty for decades, the fact that Israel has maintained a vicious, violent occupation against the Palestinians does not mean that the solution is a military solution. I think we should eschew and avoid war. And war in this instance was avoided.
You can't make a complete sentence without cursing. I dislike you, Hoteps. How about that, man? How about that? I dislike you, Hoteps. Okay? Damn. Shit.
Avoidable. Iran was manageable, not through kinetic military means. I don't think this is going to make the Jewish population of Israel or anywhere else even safer. I think quite the opposite. It will be more dangerous. Israel is going to have to step back from its illegal criminal activity. Iran should step back from its illegal criminal activity. And I would suggest that the way to do that is not by bombing schools, whether they're in Gaza, in Israel, or in Iran. I would suggest the way you do that is you pursue other options. And if anyone told me that Israel, as a nuclear power, which has attacked Iran, not been attacked by Iran, where Iran's so-called proxies were more of a deterrence than an offense, that Israel is more than capable of handling itself militarily, but apparently absolutely incapable of handling itself politically and of having a diplomatic game.
It sounds like you're defending Iran and persecuting Israel.
Sorry, I'm not defending Iran,
Is there a single, Daniel, is there a single moment in which, I just want to ask
my
you one
question
question.
to you, Mr.
Daniel, is there a
Spielman,
single
are you
moment,
ashamed and are you against the Israeli genocide
Daniel,
of Palestinian
I'm trying to ask a question. Can I just one
Sorry,
question?
I didn't realize that was your job.
I promise I'll be quiet.
I didn't
Daniel, is there a
realize the gentleman
single moment at which you think Israel is justified in carrying out military intervention against one of the enemies that are facing it, Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran? Is there a single instance?
Yes, but I do not think
What is
that
it?
Israel is going to succeed militarily
But what is it?
if the premise of its
This is my thing. I understand military action, but when you're have no disregard for like international law, you know, like what all of these leaders are doing right now, it's kind of like shit. What are the rules of engagement? Like this shit is total war. Like, little people, we'll call it that. Little people are losing their lives. People are being damn starved. Water treatment facilities are being bombarded. We have civilian oil refineries being hit, like, and it's from both sides. Like, this shit is total war, man. Shit is total war, man. It's not any rules of engagement, man. Like, this shit is going on, chat. This shit is going on. I don't know if we realized it yet, but this shit is actually going on.
position is, we will continue to manage a permanent illegal occupation against the Palestinians. If you can't, sorry, because you are therefore in a belligerent state in the region. Israel has bombed several countries in the region. Israel hasn't tried the other path.
What should we have done after October 7th, Daniel?
Let me bring in.
Before October 7th.
No, but what after they attacked
the question?
Gentlemen, I'm just going to call a timeout. Let me call a timeout because Scott has been waiting very patiently. Scott, look, there are passionate arguments on all sides of this. Of course there are. Do you have any sympathy with Israel's?
You said you are a proud Trump cult member. Call in, Jim. Why are you a proud Trump cult member? Yeah. Why are you a proud Trump cult member? And at what point is there anything that Trump can do wrong?
In Iran, because the Israeli.
Is there at any point that you would, it doesn't matter. It just is what it is.
People have reached a general consensus that they believe Iran has been responsible for most of their problems in the last few decades, with these proxy terror groups just constantly trying to attack them. And that has caused this massive security crisis as they see it, which has to be somehow brought to an end. Do you have any sympathy with the way the average Israeli feels about
what it do, Jace?
And why they're supporting this?
Well, I understand it, just the same as if you swapped them out with any other nation in the world in the same position, if there was such a situation. It's fine, but it has nothing to do with the United States. And this goes back to a falsehood that Danny Danon said earlier in your show, where he was claiming that ever since the Iranian Revolution of 1979, Iran has been at war with Israel this way. That's not true. Israel stayed friends with Iran all through the 1980s. As everyone knows, when Ronald Reagan switched sides in the Iran-Iraq war for a minute and sold weapons to the Ayatollah, he used the Israelis as the cutout because they had the ongoing operation. And I highly suggest everyone, especially you, Pierce, read this fantastic book by Trita Parsi called Treacherous Alliance, about the real history of America, Israel, and Iran's relationship throughout that period. And where he shows that it was...
I'm taking call-ins right now. We just doing a reaction to Pierce Morgan in this panel, but I'm taking call-ins about MAGA's a cult, Democrats are bad, and the GOP sold us out to the technocrats. If you disagree with any of those things, or if you have just something else you want to call in and debate about, the numbers pant. Let's try to get the 30 likes right quick, chat. Everybody double tap the screen, whether you have or you haven't. If you've already double tapped it, double tap it again, man. Let's get the 30 likes right quick.
In 1993, when Yitzhak Rabin simply changed his strategy and Israel turned on Iran, and Iran started funding Hamas after that. And now after Rabin was killed, the Likud basically took up the same policy of demonizing Iran, but instead of using it as an excuse for dealing with the Palestinians, they used it as an excuse to distract from the fact that they were going to never deal with the Palestinians in good faith. But it was the Israelis who turned on the Iranians first, and that wasn't until 1993. And Parsi even has Clinton administration officials laughing because the Israelis are demanding that America be hard on Iran, when 1 week ago they were taking Iran's side in the very same type arguments and all that. The book is called Treacherous Alliance. It's absolutely fantastic, and it shows all that. And then this is also, crucially, the basis for the argument in the clean break strategy by David Wormser and Richard Pearl in 1996, when Benjamin Netanyahu was first coming to office the first time. These are American neoconservatives who wrote this policy that says the clean break is with Oslo. So we're never going to deal with the Palestinians. We're going to take what they have. But in order to be able to get away with that, we need a whole new position of dominance in the region. And in order to do that, our first priority is we have to break the arch of power between Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah. And they said the way we want to do that...
What's going on, Jason?
That's a loaded question because there's really no answer. Both sides, both parties play in our face. I don't really know what Pierce Bronson or Morgan is saying, but as far as this ongoing confrontation, We don't have boots on the ground yet, but we got a battery in their back. Well, what do you have to say about any of the things I just said?
Yeah, both sides do play in our faces, but they have fundamental differences. So with the Democrats, when it comes to just everything with the children and trying to let the schools take over for the kids, and not having any rights to your kids or telling you anything about it, and the Dems are just okay with that. That's just fucking crazy to me. When it comes to transitioning kids, I'm totally against that as well. And MAGA's a cult. I mean, we're sold out. The GOP's right along with them. They sold us the fuck out to the technocrats. Trump put an executive order out there that said there will be no state regulation on AI. Nobody batted a fucking eye. Nobody said a word. DeSantis was all about how he's gonna stop all of this and put AI regulation. Trump put the executive order down. We didn't hear shit. Yeah,
So
we're sold out.
Let me clarify. Hold on, let me clarify. So that means there's no state that has any legislation control guidelines that
No, Trump lifted all of that. Trump, we're talking about Republicans, the ones who are for smaller federal government, and they're supposed to take it to the states, right? Yeah, that those guys, they are the ones that lifted all state regulations. There are no more state regulations for AI.
On AI, but the internet still has the rules that it does.
I mean, you can't download no weird shit, of course, but when it comes to AI, it's no regulation.
Create weird shit. But now they're gonna be creating weird shit, and you won't know if it's real or not. Yes.
For the most part, I mean, there's no regulation. We just seen Anthropic CEO. They're the first company to be named under the Foreign Adversary Act because he didn't want to give up his tech to let the Pentagon do mass surveillance on Americans, or to let the Pentagons use fully autonomous weapons where there will be no human oversight. So those were the two lines that they drawn. Like, hey, we're not giving you mass surveillance to Americans, and we're not going to let you fire these weapons without any human oversight. And for that, they were designated, an enemy of America.
As far as the control of AI, yes, we must keep that under control. However, as long as you had a phone or you had a laptop with a camera, a television, they've been able to get a hold of all of your information.
Correct,
but they see what you're doing.
Yes, but they haven't been able to congregate all of this information into a centralized place to do 24/7 mass surveillance through an omnipresence type situation. We are now at that point. Yeah, we had the Patriot Act. Yes, they've been recording calls and it's been slow, it's been clunky. Now we are at the point to where it'll be instantaneous profiles, the damn Minority Report. The shit is here. And that's what they're trying to stop.
But now you're saying they're going to hook it up to like the Whopper. And if you've seen War Games, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen War Games. What's up, Kate? What's up, Dwayne? What's up, MK?
With dude hooked into the central computer that was controlling all the weapons, but it actually started off as a game program.
Yeah, but it's going to be real life. This is what I'm saying, Jason. It's going to be to the point to where everything that you've ever posted, everything that you've ever looked at, everything
that's in the cloud.
Yes,
everything, your history, all that.
Even to the point to
that first flip phone.
No, even to the point to where you're located in your house. So on Anthropic, on Anthropic, there's a script that they dropped. That it can hack your Wi-Fi box and show a RID or whatever, like like an infrared image of where you're at in your house. Like what if you're laying down, standing up, walking, or whatever, and they just drop their code for free. So picture that being inside of this AI
So
that
wait,
can
you
read
said they
all of
dropped
that
it for
shit.
free.
Huh?
I got that, but now you just said they dropped it for free. So that's an app that's out there for any Joe Smo to pick up.
Yes, but yes, that it is. But think about this. Think about the government use for it. They'll have computers. Once they put the AI with the quantum computing, they'll be able to see where everybody's at inside of their house at the same time. And it's all tracked on top of your social media post, on top of when you get in your smart car, on everything, down to where you're at inside of your house.
That sounds like the satellites they've been using for years, Plug.
And the Republicans sold us out, man.
They can look at you from space, and they can, or the planes that can fly over, and they can look into your house or through the whole block. It's just
like To the Moon said. To the Moon said, not only that, Plug, they're gonna analyze what we do and give a threat level, etc. Yeah, you're gonna be on a threat level. Like they gonna come see you about that. Like then you'll be on high monitoring. You know, you won't be able to go certain places and things.
You gotta watch what you post now.
So I learned this the other day too. The government used to have a program called LifeLog, right? You ever heard of the LifeLog program?
Is that like 2 or 3 years old?
Nah, it came out a long time ago. LifeLog program. Has anybody ever heard of the LifeLog program?
What does what have to do with anything? I'm gonna put your digital footprint is just like a carbon footprint. You've been tracked forever, but now they got a way to do it.
Here you go, LifeLog. Here you go. Hold on, Jason. Your mouth too close to your phone too. You muffled. It says LifeLog was a project of the Information Processing Techniques Office of DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. According to its bid solicitation pamphlet in 2023, it was to be an ontology-based subsystem that captures, stores, and makes accessible the flow of one person's experience and interactions in the world in order to support a broad spectrum of associates or assistants and other system capabilities. The objective of LifeLog concept was to be able to trace the threads of an individual's life in terms of events, states, and relationships. It has the ability to take in all of a subject's experience, from phone numbers dialed to email messages viewed to every breath taken, step made, and place gone. LifeLog aimed to compile a massive electronic database of every activity and relationship a person engages in. This was to include credit card purchases, websites visited, the content of telephone calls and emails sent and received, scans of faxes and postmail sent and received, instant messages sent and received, books, magazines read, television, radio sections, physical location recorded via wearable GPS sensors, biomedical data captured through wearable sensors. The high-level goal of this data logging was to identify preferences, plans, goals, and other markers of intentionality. Another of DARPA's goals of LifeLog had a predictive function. It sought to find meaningful patterns in the timeline to infer the user's routines, habits, relationships with other people, organizations, places, objects, and to exploit these patterns to ease its task. Generically, the term LifeLog or FLOG is used to describe a storage system that can automatically and persistently record and archive some informational dimension of an object's or user's life experience in a particular data category. So listen, you hear that, right? So the day that they stopped this project, right, the same day they stopped that project over there at DARPA, Guess what happened? Take a wild guess, Chad.
Wait, that was controlling the amount of information people can get from you, right? And they stopped it. And now it's just free will, free reign.
No, so the same day that they stopped it, Facebook was incorporated. The exact date. The same day that DARPA ended their program, Facebook was incorporated. They didn't even hide it.
Oh, so you saying that?
So you heard what
when
it
you
said.
say
It was to create.
incorporated, that means-
It was to create threads of a person's life. Facebook has a subsidiary company called what?
Meta.
It's Threads. Threads. Y'all haven't seen Facebook Threads? Even in the DARPA papers talking about threads of a person's life. And now we have the app called Threads. It's just crazy.
Oh, that's like what they would call your memories. Where like they'll show you 15 years, 22 years ago, what you would do.
Correct. It's telling you everywhere that you went, every relationship you were in, the chat logs on how you was interacting with people, what you were searching, what kind of music you was listening to, and it's able to track your from the moment you signed up in 2009 or whatever all the way till now. It's able to compile that data, see what kind of patterns you had, see what kind of language you was using, who you was communicating with, where those people ended up going in their lives. Yes, everything.
Oh, so wait, check it out. That's just them legalizing what we've been talking about for the last 2 or 3 years. How like you Google or Bing something and then all of a sudden you see it on your timeline. Then,
Because they know
YouTube,
at this point they know you better than you know yourself. At this point,
oh yeah,
whether they're reading your mind, whether they're listening to you or not, they have this congregated data, not just from Facebook, from everything. And now they have a way to compile it and analyze it and know what to market to you. They know what to market to you. I'm not just talking to you, Jason. I got a chat here too. They know how to market to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a chat. They talking to me in the chat too.
So
So
I got a question.
go ahead.
Are they hooking this up to AI?
Yes, and the quantum computer is next. Once AI meets the quantum computer, it's over with because that's where you get omnipresence. That's where you get enough power. That's why they're talking about these data centers now. That's why because they it's already gone. It's just not mainstream yet. But yes, they're hooking the AI up to the quantum computers. That's why they need energy. That's why they need bandwidth. A lot of different things that they need because they need to compile all this data.
I just got a hypothetical thought. So they hooking everybody's intel into AI, right? So they're using artificial intelligence to, what is that the FBI or the CIA do? They profile you, how they'll profile somebody. They get all your information and now you've been profiled.
Correct, and they can put you into their funnel. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be high risk, or your profile might be high risk that you will do some bullshit, right? So now they put you in the funnel and send you down that road, so you know you're more susceptible to go down this path.
Oh, so they can take you and what was that?
Make you a crash out. Make you a crash out. You know what I'm saying? They know that shit. They got your profile. They know what you into. They know exactly how to pull on your emotions. You got to think they have all of your private messages too. So they know when you got emotion. Hold on, Jason. They know when you got emotional. They know when you got angry. They know when you was your highs and lows. They know your favorite teams. They know. Let me cook, Jason. And they can compile all of this. And not only compile all this, but compare this to people from your age group, from people from your race, people from your location base, and they can just get a general profile of what you're more likely to fucking do or like.
On top of that, I'm just gonna add a little seasoning to the fact that with them creating a profile on all of us, they will know the triggers, what will set us off. Like they've been trying to do it for the last, what month is this? 4 months. It's 3 months now, 4 months, with all the things that they're trying to do to get us out there and get us active again, like the summer of 2020. You feel me? As long as we stay out of the way, we gonna be okay.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. You ain't never heard them call this shit. They calling this shit like the eye of God, man. They talking about they trying to bring back fucking Sumerian deities and all kind of shit with this AI, bro. I'm telling you, it will. They're saying that the shit will be omnipresent, man. Omnipresent. Like it ain't no escaping it, man. This shit is it's Big Brother, man. You remember they was talking about Big Brother?
Two movie titles, Terminator, and then you have 1984. That's a book, not a movie. Both of those situations are going on. And I won't even go into biblical, but sadly, all these things have to pass for it to get better. Because truthfully, the system that we have working or in place is not for all the people. It's been hypocritical and a lie since I was, 71?
You doing a lot of moving in the background, Jason.
I'm saying it's been hypocritical and a facade since 71 and before. When were you blessed to come here? 80-something?
I'm a 90s baby.
Oh, see? That's why sometimes I lose you because I be on some other shit. But it's the same shit. It's just like, you read the ISIS papers, right? Dr. Francis Cress Wilson?
No, I didn't.
You need to check that out. It'll give you some insight on WS. That's like behold the pale horse. It's all coming true.
All right. Well, Jason, let me take this other call, man. I'm gonna give you a call back in a little bit.
All right, I just got this last thing, and I'm gonna land my plane. The thing is, once that third eye is open, it's hard for you to shut it off, and then people don't be wanting to hear what you gotta say or understand it. But I got you.
All right. All right, Jason. I'll give you a call back. And what was it?
Hello?
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Steve, man, what's up, dog?
Oh, what it do, Steve? What's going on?
I was just listening to your boy talk. I forget what he was talking about.
Yeah, Jason really knowledgeable about a lot of things. He said read the on the ISIS papers. I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that.
Say it again?
He said something about the ISIS papers and something about just asking me what era I was born in. I guess he thought I was an 80s baby. I told him I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah, I was listening to that, but I mean, I guess these all see it differently. Like it's like you're mixing science with religion, with mythology. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's all going on. That's exactly what's going on.
so
you're aware that all the AI stuff is happening right now. China was implemented back in 2014.
We can't really hear you. You kind
saw
of
it and
muffled.
said, Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. It's like we can hear you, but we can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now? Am I any better?
Yeah, you're a lot better now. Go ahead.
It's like all this stuff that's happening right now, this AI stuff. This is all. There was military AI in China back in 2014, and Obama tried to keep it out of the states, like facial recognition. China's had that since about 2010, and they have a whole system set up where they know what you're going to do. I mean, you used to have like a number, like a ranking over there, and they track every little thing you do, everything you touch, eat, where you walk. So that's been going on for a long time, and we kept it away from here until Mike Pence. Then when the Hong Kong protests happened, Mike Pence saw that and said, "Ooh, let's get that back here in America." And that's when it started going back here. Now it's being implemented because Trump is letting these civilians take over this, like Palantir and all this stuff. But, I mean, that's what TikTok was all about. TikTok was trying to weaponizing social media to reel in the West. And as you know, there is no TikTok in China. There's a different one, but TikTok, like we know, it doesn't exist in China. So all this is hitting here right now because of one person and one person's greed. And that's that orange guy at the top. And that's why MAGA is a cult. Because when it's happening any place else, we're like, oh, beware of this, beware of Pizzagate. Well, guess what? Pizzagate's them. Oh, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing we talk about. And all of a sudden, Pizzagate was the most important thing to them until they find out it's their guy. They've been covering for their guy the whole time, and they don't want to talk about it anymore.
So, yes, let me
we're screwed.
No, we are. I agree with you on we're screwed. I do believe the GOP sold us out to the technocrats. I believe it was bipartisan, but the GOP kind of had, all three branches. Well, the House, Senate, and the House, Senate, and the presidency. So I'm gonna put it on them. And we just seen Trump facilitate a deal for Paramount and all of that. It's kind of like, what the fuck is really going on? But as far as what you came on saying it's kind of sounding like religion, technology, and a little mythology. Yeah, that's why I kind of didn't shy away from it. It's kind of what's going on. I can't say that it hasn't happened before, but the things that are happening, we don't have terms for them yet. So the best way that I can communicate it, what I'm referencing or where my mind is going to the chat and to everybody is in that way. I do believe that they are trying to bring back deities, demons, have whatever you want to call it. That's how my mind works. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Like, yes, I do believe that they're using AI and things like that to bring back manifestations of ancient beings and demons, and yeah.
I know that. So I was looking talked about this recently. But you can pull up Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel is the one that's really bringing this to the forefront. But the reason why is because America is well trained. And the truth of the matter is, if you go back to King James wanted to keep the people under control, and that's why he created the Bible. He didn't believe in the Bible. He just wanted to ensure the right of kings. He was reading the book on the book of demonology. But the result is our nation, the forefathers of the nation, trying to warn you guys, try to separate it. Guys like Thomas Paine said, don't be clinging to that Bible. It's not going to do you any good. Let's get that away. Thomas Jefferson said, Jefferson that said, separation of church and state. We should keep these definitely separated. And we've had that opportunity, and we've floundered it. Like, this notion of getting close to the Bible with our government is going to lead to this, where now they can use AI, and they can say that, okay, well, that's the new God, and we can talk to Christ through AI. And you know what they've done? They slowly wean you in, like the guy was saying, 1984. They're slowly pulling you into this thing, saying, trust AI. AI is the closest thing that we have to God.
I mean,
And
yeah,
we can find out that,
but if you want to be real, that would be the actual, that would be the actual thing that would deter someone from thinking that AI is God. I would think that someone who doesn't, hold on, I would think that someone who doesn't believe in God would be more susceptible to accept the AI as God because it'll be more rational to them. It would be quote unquote all seeing, all knowing, omnipresent. We already have people worshiping the AI as God, and of course they're not religious. I mean, they're worshiping the AI as God. They're not traditional religious, I'd say. They probably came from being an atheist.
no, it's just the opposite. So let me ask you, do you think atheists think that Donald Trump is the Messiah? Or do you
No, I think that atheists, I think that, see, this is a different question. You're asking a whole different question. I think that atheists are more susceptible to believe that AI is God. Without Jesus, without, the spirit or whatever, but just as far as all seeing and all knowing. I think an atheist will be more susceptible to believe that is God than a traditional Christian, Muslim, or Jew.
And so I'm going to disagree with it and give you some examples. It is these evangelicals, not the atheists, who said Donald Trump is our Messiah. He's the connection between us and God. Number one.
Okay, but
Number
did they
two,
say Donald
Joe
Trump was? Did they say Donald Trump was all seeing, all knowing?
No, they're saying he's the
Okay,
connection
well, I'm
with God.
telling you that these people are saying that AI is all seeing, all knowing. They're actually worshiping Google Deep Mind. They're worshiping quite a few of these different deities that are quote unquote through the AI, and none of these people were Christian, man.
I'm going to say that I bet you the board, bro, you don't go from being atheist and not believing in God.
They're not. What I'm saying is they're rationalizing it. They can see it like it. They're not saying that, oh, this is some spirit magical thing. They're saying, wow, this thing is going to be the most powerful thing, all seeing, all knowing. If it's going to turn on humanity, I don't want to be on the wrong side of it. So let me put it in the algorithm and out there in the world that I was already worshiping it before it got here. That's how they're looking at it. They're not looking at it like mystical or something like that. They're looking at it rationally. Like, if this thing is going to run everything, I want to be on its fucking good side.
Have you ever heard the song by Johnny Cash, Your Own Personal Jesus?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's important to listen to it. The line says, pick up the receiver, you know I'm a believer.
It's important to listen. Now, why is it important to listen to it?
Because that's exactly what it turned into. Your own personal Jesus became a Jesus that you can relate to.
But what I'm saying is, what relevance does that have to my life? What relevance does that have to my life?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking and understanding this problem. I'm not talking your life. Your life.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You said I have to listen to it. It's like that's my only problem is when we tell the people like that they have to do something. It's like, well, I've never told anybody they have to do something. Maybe you should rephrase it like, hey, you should check this out. Maybe
Let me rephrase it. If you want to understand this better, check out, understand what he's talking about in that song. He's not talking about you. He's talking about those of this new false religion. The song isn't a compliment. It's basically saying there's nothing lower than this new group of people who have their own personal Jesus. One who's there, one who hears your prayer. Pick up the receiver. I can talk to Jesus on the telephone. All right? Because in this new generation, they believe that they can talk to God through this new thing called a phone. And that's turned into this new thing called a computer. And that's turned into this new thing called AI. It's the same problem that we have.
I see where you're going. I definitely see where you're going. What about let's talk about the future of America and the future of this. So let's say Trump is out of office in 2028. How does it go? How does this conflict go if it's still ongoing? at this point, we've probably
Well,
bled trillions of dollars, at least $1 trillion 3 years later.
this would go like, I mean, this is how Barack Obama got into office. You know, the Iraq war was going so horribly bad, and then the last minute, 2008, the financial thing happened because the Bush administration collapsed the economy. And they collapsed the economy, now we're in this war, and he gets in office, he said, I'm going to get us out of the war.
What's
now,
up,
did
Captain?
Obama get us out of these wars?
No.
Nope. If
But
you
that's
actually
what
take
he
a look
ran
at it,
on. What's up,
so that's
Shell?
what he ran on. I mean, but look at Nixon. Nixon ran on the promise of getting us out of the Vietnam War. Did he get us out of the war? Nope. But what Obama did was this. He kept on Robert Gates. Robert Gates was the Department of Defense guy for Bush. So he kept that guy, and he was the one that planned the withdrawal plan, which said that they'll be out by December 31st, 2011. That happened before Obama took office. So that was already
So how does Newsom get us out of this war? Let's say the Dems win. Let's say Newsom's the candidate. What you give us Newsom's playbook on getting us out of this war?
Okay, well, first it starts in 2026 at this primaries, because the primaries go, like, this is why Trump's trying to cheat with this new plan, because if he loses the primaries, he's a lame duck. And they're going to impeach him. If they have enough people to impeach Donald Trump, Donald Trump's in trouble. Donald Trump might get an impeachment. If they get the House and the Senate, Donald Trump might actually get impeached in both the House and the Senate, which has never happened before that I can remember. So what happens is, let's just say that he doesn't get impeached. He goes to the very end, and then Newsom takes over with a 51% of the vote, maybe 52% of the overall vote. Overwhelming victory. What happens is he gets us out of the war. The war has to wind down. And literally overnight, the war has to wind down, because this is just an unpopular war. This is a war that didn't need to happen. Like, you know, unless something really bad happens, like Iran bombs 4 major cities in the United States, you know, and or destroys 5 naval carriers. And once something to that level, and he'll withdraw forces immediately.
You know, that's an actual possibility if we're going to be escorting these tankers.
Why do you think Trump's doing it? Trump needs dead American soldiers more than anything else in the world. Why do you think he keeps saying it? He's saying the quiet part out loud. Oh, some people might die. Because Netanyahu is telling him, kill Americans, keep America in the war. Don't kill Americans. America's going to get out of the war.
Okay. All right, Steve. I'm gonna let you ask me one more question, and we'll do one more round, and then Shell wants to call in. Shell, give me and Steve like 5 more minutes, man. We having a good convo. Go ahead, Steve.
So the last thing is boots on the ground. So understand, like I was in the 80s and the 90s. I got out around 2000, right? We were training. We trained so many different times for one thing: a war with Iran. You go look. There's a paper that a guy named General Wesley Clark released. It was called "How to Win 7 Wars in 5 Years." And the thing is, it couldn't be done. Like, we were asked to do this on paper, and guys, we can't do it. We know you can't do it. Just write it down anyway. And Iran was always in that. Iran is an actual military conflict that we trained for in the infantry, in the 82nd, in the Ranger battalions repeatedly. And we never won a ground war, except when we tried to take just the Kurdish north and free the Kurds. It was the only time we had. And we didn't do that. And it's too late. We missed that boat. We didn't free them in Syria. We didn't free them in Turkey. We didn't free them in Iraq. So the problem is, a ground war right now absolutely would not work. Look on a map how big Iran is, and look at how big it is compared to Iraq. It's not even close. We can't win a ground war at all. At best,
I don't know. This is what I'm gonna say. I don't think that we want to go for a ground war. Maybe Trump does if he, want wants to, advance some sort of initiatives. But right now, with us controlling that Strait of Hormuz, until if Iran doesn't blow up one of those tankers or do something, we also got a lot of those tankers out there just out in the ocean. So right now, America's right back where it wants to be as the hegemon. We're controlling 20% of global energy right now.
This is just a false idea. All they gotta do is if Iran wants to mine the Strait of Hormuz, we're screwed.
That's what I'm saying. The ball's in their court right now because Trump's already said that we're going to insure the boats and escort them. So right now the ball is in Iran's court. So as of now,
but he's not.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a lie. That was a lie. It's already been debunked that Trump that we're not escorting boats. Trump said that, but we're not doing it. Like, I don't think you get the straight. Like, how are we going to have forces over there in Venezuela, over here, in the Atlantic Ocean, and forces over there at the same time? I mean, he's got us stretched out so thin. And number one, number two, Iran's not fighting us. Iran's not kicking our ass. Iran's bombing a few things here and there. If Iran wanted to really launch on our bases, they would wipe out our defenses on the first wave. Second wave, they're bombing us. The third wave, they'd be killing Americans. They're not looking for a war. This is Trump's war, just so that him and Netanyahu don't go to jail. Netanyahu's going to jail. He's on trial right now. This trial keeps getting delayed because he started a new conflict. This is only about keeping Netanyahu out of prison.
I heard the judge on the case got unalived.
Probably.
They said he got hit in a motorcycle. They said he got hit in a motorcycle. He was riding his motorcycle and got hit.
So that tells you what's really going on there. I mean, think of it. They're killing judges in Israel to protect Netanyahu from jail. If that isn't the ultimate in corruption, and so don't ever listen to say that they're a democratic state. They're not. You can't protest in Israel. You go to jail for protesting. They kill judges just to keep the leader out of jail. They started an unjust war because they want to keep him out of prison, and he's charged with corruption. So it's unfortunate that
I just said
Trump
he died. I just said the judge died. I don't know how. He got hit on the motorcycle.
But I haven't even heard that. But if that's true, then that's not a coincidence, bro. That's not a coincidence. But it's tough that we're dealing with this. It's tough that the Republican Party. I mean, look at it. They threatened the life of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's why she resigned, because her life is being threatened. That's insane. No one's even talking about that.
Correct. Yeah, she got the ride out on the horse. She got the ride out on the sunset, worth some chicken. She'll be all right. It is sad though, because she was the only one that actually stood on business. Her and Thomas Massey when it came to the Epstein files and no new wars. Double tap the screen, chat. We need to get the likes to 40 likes. We need to get the 40 likes right quick, man. Go on and hit the double tap the screen for me. I know we're shadow banned. Shell, you can call in whatever you get ready. Go ahead, Steve. You got the floor.
Tell me know. You can pick me up. But yeah, but with Massey, I don't know if you know this or not. Massey's facing primary challenge from dark money. The dark money is coming from Singer. I think his name is Bill Singer, the guy that Trump gave all the oil to down in Venezuela.
Yeah, I seen Massey said that Trump's called him 3 times personally and said that he's coming after him.
Yeah. So because he wants to release the Epstein files, the Singer knows that Trump's in the Epstein files that he is, and that's what he's had taken out. Like this is the worst case. Imagine if Biden was as many times in the Epstein files as Trump is. How insane the right would be going. They'd be losing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no Obama, there's no Trump, there's just Clinton, and Clinton should go to jail right along with Trump, and Trump. They should be sharing the jail cell. I'm not going to take either one of them. So I saw your thing which says Democrats are crazy. I don't know. I think Mamdani is doing a good job. I think there's too many Zionists in the Democratic Party. I think they're all going to get primary coming up here right now. And so I also see some blame from that. But look at some of these people.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bipartisan thing. Because when it comes to the when it comes to the executive order on the AI ban, where the states have no rights when it comes to AI, no Democratic leaders spoke up either. Not a single Republican spoke up. I called out DeSantis. No Democrat spoke out either.
Do you know who Senator Sinema was? She was a senator from Arizona. She had to leave after she voted against everything Biden did. So she pretty much get primary, but she became independent, and then she's the one working for AI now. So the thing is, the Democrats and the Republicans have the same problem that's taking dirty money. And so there's a thing called APAC tracker, and you can see any Republican or Democrat that's taking money, and all the Democrats that taking money are just as bad as the Republicans. That I agree with you on. Like if you take any money these days, you're just not. No one's going to trust you anymore, and so it's starting to get out in the open. So that's the thing. You've got to get rid of money. It's 25% of the Democratic Party. It's 95% of the Republican Party. So they're not the same. There's levels to it.
Yeah, the Dems have their own other problems too, the rest of them. But I'm gonna call Shell back because I told her to call in.
Good luck to you, bud.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Steve. Steve always giving me a lot of pushback, man. It's always fun going back and forth with Steve, man.
Hello.
What's going on now, Shell? Chat, double tap the screen, man. Let's get to 45 likes. Go ahead, Shell. You got the floor.
Well, I gotta tell you, I was listening to Steve. I didn't hear his entire the entire time he was on when he was speaking. I caught probably the last maybe 10 minutes or so, and I gotta say, I agreed with I would say probably half of what he was saying, to be honest with you, because he's not wrong about a lot of that stuff, to be frank, and I think that's where I think you can disagree with somebody, but you can find common ground. And I like that. That's what I love about your channel, Plug. Because if you listen to somebody and you don't just turn off what you don't agree with somebody on, because I came in shortly after he started talking about Newsom, and I was like, oh no. But then I started listening to him. I'm like, man, we have some common things. I don't agree with Newsom. Newsom needs to avoid every ticket. Everyone. I disagree with Newsom on so many things. Just don't even give that man a speeding ticket. Just bypass all of it. But what I do agree with him on, and forgive me, if I seem a little bit distracted, I had a tornado really close to my home, not like in the I would say probably within a little over 15 miles from my house tonight. So we're getting nasty weather. So if I have to go kind of quick, I'll let you know. So anyway, what I do agree with him on here, what he was talking about with the conflict, well, the war. I'm going to call it a war. We'll start with that. One of the things is ground troops. No, so much no. First of all, the region there, the way that Iran is as a country, it's got natural borders. It has natural borders. It is preserved, okay, itself within these mountains. Okay, just to get in there, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, that in itself, to get our troops in there safely, is an insane risk. Then, while there may be part of the population that wants us there, you have to think strategically. You know, yes, we have disarmed them on multiple fronts. Strategically, whether you disagree or agree, because that is a thing. We have disarmed them strategically for looking at a battle plan. We've done that successfully. We've done it. There is a reason why they have stood down but not conceded. Okay? There's a reason. I think that they're waiting for us to make our next mistake. They're waiting for it. If we send ground troops in there and we stretch our armed forces to a place where we cannot stretch them, okay? There's so many things that I don't think that people really understand that's going on right now inside of our military. We have a ship full of sailors right now that are revolting against what's happening, to the point where they are shoving their shirts inside of toilets. And the Ford right now, I think they went to Italy. I think that's where they end up having to go in order to make repairs. They were hoping that they would go back and they would dock back here, but Trump said no. They said we're not going to go back and make the repairs that would actually extend it, the necessary repairs. They're like, we're just going to patch it up and then we're going to send it back. Something you have to understand is that even if the soldiers that want to get out, it's not so simple. Even if a sailor, for example, wanted to go AWOL and wanted to leave, they can't leave if they're aboard a ship. Are you understand what I'm saying? Even if in their mind they're like, I'm not for this war, I'm against this war, whatever, even if, again, that's not what they signed up to serve to do. I'm not condoning it. I'm just giving a hypothetical. If they're forced to go do something that in their mind they don't want to do, and they don't have the option to AWOL, they're stuck aboard a ship. This is what I'm telling you is actually happening currently aboard the Ford.
Damn. Chat, double tap the screen, man. Hit the like button. We need to get the 50 likes right quick. Let's get the 50 likes, chat. I heard about them stuffing the shirts down on the Ford, man. I didn't know that they went to Italy to dock, though. I did hear them stuffing the. They said it was supposed to be like. Only 100 toilets working on a ship full of 5,000 people, 6,000 people.
Oh no, it's worse than that. Plug, it's worse than that. So the thing is that it may have been a point where there was that many. So what they did was they would go and they would stuff those. So it got so bad that they were going to the bathroom off the side of the ship.
Yeah.
So here's what you got to understand is that troop morale, okay, if you don't know or whatever, troop morale is essential. What they did was they sent out this document to the troops saying, guys, just so you know, this is a holy war, and I'm paraphrasing, it's a holy war to bring about the third temple. And it's basically apocalyptic. You're doing a great service. Okay?
Yeah, I heard what Mike Huckabee said today, too, and Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. I haven't heard all of that yet because I've been dealing with a weather situation here.
I'll play it. Hold on. I'll play it. Hold on. Ha! You gotta hear this shit. You gotta hear this, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll love it.
Let me go there.
Busta, calm down, dude.
Let me find it on X.
I'm literally talking about a document that went out to the troops. I'm just literally stating what happened. My darling, be gentle.
You can go ahead, Shell. I'm pulling
Hi,
it
Team
up.
Money. It's okay. I'm just talking to Rick. I'll just shout out some people. Hi, Essence. Hi, Top. Hi, Strong. I'm just bringing down there.
All right, here you go. Here you go. Right here. Here you go.
Girl.
Here you go.
To all the anti-Seminites, to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. To all the anti-Seminites, to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be first is to kill people who wish, but America first is to kill people who wish us ill with a record of trying to destroy us.
Y'all can't hear that.
To take them.
You can't hear
No. No, darling. I'm sorry. I was waiting for it. I could tell by the look on your face, though, that you were. So I can't. Yeah.
Can y'all hear it? They can hear it, man.
Oh, maybe it's because I'm a caller. No. You know what? How about this? You can either send it to me on the Discord or I'll listen to it on the playback.
Yeah,
no, it's okay, guys, because I'm a caller. That's why it is. I called in, so because I'm on the phone, I can't hear it. No! Yeah. It's okay. We'll get this figured out. Don't worry about it.
That man Lindsey Graham wilding, man. He said to all the anti-Semites, to all the isolationists, you know what? Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. That man said America first means is kill as many as people possible before they kill you. That boy Lindsey Graham.
Wow.
Fuck.
No, I'm seriously gonna. You know what? Listen, I don't know. Part of me is like, I don't know if they got something on Lindsey Graham. I don't know. I mean, he's always been. I don't know. I don't know. Here are my thoughts. You know, if you can see it, then you can't unsee it. And you know, I mean, I've sent enough people over there. I've been involved in the military, either from a spouse perspective, from a family perspective. I mean, I raised my hand. I did what I needed to do, so I was prepared to go. So, I mean, I've had these different elements of the military. And currently, right now, I have family, my literally in-laws that are currently being called up. So I have family who received that letter. Are you understanding? Like, we thank you for serving, and, you know, please bring about the third temple. And it was a chaplain, Plug. They sent it to the chaplain. Make it make sense.
Damn, man.
Make it make sense, Plug.
No. They said the Pentagon no boss on them. It said the Pentagon marked its highest monthly total since tracking began in 2008, driven by its use it or lose it rules that forced the agency to spend by September 30th or face budget cuts. Highlights included $2 million on king crab, $6.9 million on lobster tail, $15.1 million on ribeye steak, $139,000 on donuts, $225.
We know what that means.
Hold on. $225 million on furniture, like fancy chairs. $98,000 for a grand piano. Critics from both parties, including Melody Stansbury and John Ernest, called out the waste amid program cuts elsewhere, while defenders said the food feeds troops at bases.
Well, here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you. First of all, what you just read off is standard. Like, now, bear with me on this comment. What I'm telling you, that is a standard thing. If you go back before any conflict, we know. So actually, it's a joke between every military personnel that if they go into the chow hall and they see crab legs, steak, shrimp, all that, because we're used to getting the slop end of the deal, okay? And you see them crab legs, you know shit's about to get real. You know you go into a dumpster fire, and depending on whether you get what type of steak, like, oh, what cut is it? Depends on what dumpster fire you go into. Like, if you...
They say Hegseth blew billions on shellfish, steak, fruit baskets, and furniture.
Now, you know why you know why he did it. You can judge this from now, I'm not judging you for your thoughts on this, okay? I'm laughing because I know exactly what this is. And I'm not judging you for your thoughts on it because you're looking at it like, oh, the money. I'm laughing because this is just the way it is, regardless about, like, you can go back and look at any conflict straight back to, like, Desert Storm. You can go back to any conflict, any war. They do this to us every time, and whatever the budget was at the time can be looked at the same way.
$3.5 billion for cable TV.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me put it to you this way. What do we do? Oh, I'm gonna try to put this really. I'm gonna try to put this in a way that you'll understand, but also be respectful to the people involved, because it's literally my family involved. So I'm literally trying to process this comment while it's coming out of my mouth. What do we do for people on death row? Plug?
I mean, I understand. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't eat good.
You're not listening.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is...
No, you're not listening.
No, you're not listening. You asked me a question and then you won't let me answer.
Okay, what do we do?
I'm saying $3.5 billion for cable TV. Like, shit, we can get a better deal.
It doesn't matter.
We can get a
better
deal.
It does matter. No, you know why it doesn't matter? Because we sent more to Ukraine. We sent more to Israel. This is them going, and they don't know it. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. I'm saying we can't get a better contract. Okay. $3.5 billion for cable TV. I'm just saying, man. Maybe we need to get some fucking fire sticks or something, man. Nobody watches cable TV anyway, man.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying the government's stupid, Plug. It's a scam all around, and the people.
Now, I'm not upset about them feeding it. Now, listen. Now, when it comes to the million, the 6.9 million on lobster tails and shit. I mean, fuck it. They said once they said it went to the soldiers, I really wasn't too tripping. But when it comes to like,
Tom, I know.
But
Tom,
the 3.5 billion, the 3.5 billion for the cable is what I'm really looking at. It's like $225 million for furniture, okay. I mean, maybe they got upgraded beds. We remember they said they was gonna, make it more comfortable for them to live. I remember Hicks just saying that. The ribeye steaks, I mean, all right, if they going in, lobster tails, if this is a one-time thing, I mean, it is what it is. But the cable is crazy to me. It's like, damn, 3.5 billion for cable TV. Like, we couldn't get a better deal. We couldn't get that shit done for a billion. I mean, who the fuck is supplying the cable TV? Is this direct TV? Like, that's probably more the direct TV was gonna make regardless of what they had going on.
It's probably Comcast, Plug, because they screw all of us. So, of course, we're going to screw the government. What I'm trying what I'm ultimately trying to explain to you is that, the last thing that they expected out of this particular conflict / war / we don't want to identify it as anything is, oh, by the way, it's an unsubstantiated holy war that we've walked into that we can capitalize on.
$93 million.
I mean, I don't. Here's what I wanted to kind of stem on from Steven's comment that that I think that.
Oh shit! Hold on, no, whoa! It said
what?
He spent $98,000 on a Steinway and Sons grand piano for the Chief of Staff, Air Force Chief of Staff's home. Oh shit! Now I don't know about that one.
I mean, why not? It's so dumb.
Oh, this the second time they dropped 15.1 million on ribeyes. It says, okay, yeah. Lobster tail ice cream machines and shit. That's all good.
I thought for sure you were going to tell me it got put in like it's somewhere in the Air Force for sure, because I could have seen that. They get all the nice stuff.
This is crazy.
But I do want to make one point about the Strait before I forget.
Support for the Jewish people. I said,
we keep saying in our country that we have control of the Strait, right? Here's my thoughts on that. How long do you think we're going to have control of this when, like, I don't even know how many countries, at least 9 countries are going to be so profoundly destroyed economically after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, it starts getting desperate. I mean, desperate. So, I mean, when you start hitting like 4 weeks, when people literally start getting to the point of desperation in some of these countries, do you think that doesn't start moving things to where countries feel like they have to go fight to open that back up?
I don't know. I don't know what the potential fall, like the absolute fallout is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of bad.
Well, I mean, I think it'll have to be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is gonna escalate to Israel drops the damn nuke, man. Once Israel drops the nuke, we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, I mean, but there's always been this thing that once one drops one, then another one will drop one, then another one will drop one, because that's always been especially if Israel is the one to drop it, then all of these countries that have
That's the thing. That's why I think they're calling it Armageddon. I think they know that, and I think that's why they're calling it Armageddon. I think Israel is going to do what it's going to do, I believe that Russia's probably gonna respond by bombing Ukraine, and then we'll see what Macron and France and them do, because I don't think that the United States is gonna do anything. I got somebody calling in, Shell. Let me give you a call back. Let me see who this is. It's a new caller. All right.
Call from.
How the hell you gonna call in and hang up? Whoever just called, call back. There you go.
Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, what up, plug?
Oh, what up,
Boy,
OG?
you know who it is. Hey, I'm listening to the convo, and I love all the opinions, and I hear what's going on, but I'm going to tell you what the play's going to be. And I want you to feel me on this. It's going to be the play. The play going to be in less than maybe a week and a half, 2 at the most. And I've been calling everything down the line square. Bulletproof is going to declare victory. He's going to pull out of that shit, and he's going to let all hell break loose. But he's got to pull out of it, because he's got to protect the primaries. Mark my words, if that ain't going to be the play.
It might be, but I still, if that's the play, Israel really I think Israel still gonna nuke Iran.
I mean, Israel going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
But in order for him to come out with his hands, they ain't going to never be clean, but at least halfway solid where he can control what's going on over here, because it's got out of hand over here. He's going to declare victory, and he's going to walk away. And all hell going to break loose. Because they know this is going to be a war of attrition. They know these American people don't want another Vietnam. They don't want another Iraq. They don't want another Afghanistan type war. And the only way that strait is going to open up, we're going to have to pull the fuck out. Excuse my French.
So what do you think goes on? What do you think happens if Israel does drop the nukes?
I think if Israel drops the nukes, it's going to send a signal around the world, and it's going to be an issue. That's why I don't. Hold on, plug, because it seems like we.
What you say?
No, I was saying what I think is going to happen if Israel was to drop a nuke, it's going to send a signal off around the whole world. And it's really going to be some shit. So I don't see that really being the play. I see the play being that we're going to pull out. They're going to let them fight like they've been fighting for 1,000 years. And all hell going to break loose and erupt over there. But we got to pull out in order for him to have any chance to remain in power here. He losing control here, bro. It ain't even about what's going on over there right now. And the more we watch seats fall, the worse it's going to get. We're literally watching seats crumble in the GOP right now. As we speak every day, we're watching runoffs that we never thought would even be runoffs. You feel what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So there's not going to be a choice, but he's going to make it look good, man. Victory will be declared. I feel like that's going to be the play. Now, I could be wrong, but I ain't been wrong yet. I'm just saying.
Damn, man. They talking about where crude oil settle at
gonna bust loose.
They saying
I
with
don't
gas,
have a choice.
with gas hit 450 by the end of March.
Not gonna have a choice. But like I say, it's gonna look good on the way out the door. I can tell you that. It's definitely gonna look good on the way out the door.
Hell yeah, man. That shit crazy, man. We
I
here
just
now.
wanted to share them 10 cents, plug. I'm gonna let somebody else jump in here with you and chop it up a little bit. But yeah, I want to say I'm putting it out there. You heard it here first. On Plug After Dark.
All right, now, OG.
All right, Brody. All right.
All right, chat, man. That was a good call-in session, man. That was a good call-in session, man. We finna get ready to wind down. No, that's why I took the phone number down, because I'm getting a little tired. But yeah, chat, I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up to all 3 streams today. And I'll see y'all on the next one, chat. Good night.